Hi everybody, I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm Connie Bowman. I've been teaching yoga in Maryland for, about the last 5 years, but I've been doing yoga since I was your age in college, and I was taking theater classes, and the professors had us do yoga to reduce the stress before we did any auditioning or acting, and it really has stayed with me all these years. So I can't think of a better time in history in this world for us to be practicing yoga, right? And especially since you guys just started school. So, and I also just started school. I just started taking a class this week, and I haven't been in college for a long time, and it's it's stressing me out. So I need this as much as you guys. So we had a few requests. If there's any more, shout them out now. I'll listen. And I'm not going to play music because I'll record this, and then if you guys like the flow, you can find the recording on my YouTube channel, just Connie Bowman YouTube channel, and you can put your own music, and then you can rock out to whatever you like. So we always start our yoga practice with a little bit of centering, and I have a blanket underneath me just to lift my hips up a little bit. It helps just elongate the spine and give us a nice tall posture, and also makes more room for the breath if we sit up nice and tall. So if you have a towel, you can fold it up and just place it under your hips and find a comfortable seat. And then once you get settled in, if you're okay with closing your eyes, just let your eyes soften or close. Let your hands rest wherever they feel most comfortable in your lap. You can have palms face up or palms face down. And then allow your shoulders to just relax down, away from the ears. And just bring your awareness first to your face. Notice if you're furrowing your brow a little bit. See if you can soften the expression on your face. Notice if your jaw or your teeth are clenched, if your jaw's tight. Just see if you can soften a little bit. Maybe even open your mouth and just kind of la, la, la. And then just feel the parts of the body that are making contact with the floor beneath you. Notice that sensation of being supported. And then listen for as many sounds as you can hear. Notice sounds in the distance. And the sounds that are closer into you, the sound of my voice. And see if you can feel the temperature of the air on any skin that might be exposed. So we just bring our awareness to all of these sensations that remind us that we are here alive in these beautiful bodies. This is where we are meant to be right now in this present moment. So maybe settle in a little bit more, soften your belly. Just, the culture tells us to suck it in, but just let it go. And then on your next, just normal breath, just feel how your breath fills up the belly and then draws all the way up into the lungs. And then as you're ready, just slowly let it go, slowly exhaling through the nose, just with soft, closed lips. And then we'll begin to invite in some deeper breaths. So filling up the belly first, the ribs, And then drawing that breath all the way up, broadening your chest as you fill up completely. And then slowly, longer than your inhalation, let your exhalation just extend as long as you can, and release all the air until it's gone. Let's take a few more together. We'll just try it in silence. Excellent work. Good. And just pause before you open your eyes, before you do anything. Just see if you can notice a shift already beginning to happen. Every yoga class is a chance to reset. Kind of like the beginning of school. It's a new beginning. So when you're ready, blink open your eyes and reach your arms out nice and wide. Open up like you're going to give someone a big hug. See if you can take your hands a little bit behind you so you can get this nice expansion in your chest. And then as you exhale, draw your belly into your spine and round forward. Bring your fingertips to touch. So your chin comes down to your chest, so you can't really see if your fingertips are going to touch. So you just have to use your senses to try to find them. Inhale and open up like a bird, and then take your gaze up toward the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. And then exhale, round forward again. Chin comes to chest. So we're just taking some seated cat-cows, moving the spine forward and back, stretching our neck and our throat. Just move a few more times with your own breath. Inhaling, opening like that big bird. And exhaling, closing, rounding. Chin comes to chest. Good. This will be our last one here. And when you arrive back here in your cat pose, just take your palms together and draw them into your heart center. And let your chin come to parallel, let your eyes close. And just take a moment to create an intention for this class of something for yourself or for someone else, for the world. And then when you're ready, blink your eyes open again. Take your palms up to the sky and take your left hand over to the side. Take a side bend. Try to keep both hips down on the mat. And then inhale, reach up and look up, and exhale, take it over to the other side. We'll take a few more. Inhale, getting really long in the side body, and then as you exhale, lean. Good. Inhale to lift, and exhale. Take it over. We'll take two more each side, just moving with your breath. So my breath might be a little faster than yours or slower, so make it your own. This is your practice. Whatever you decide to do is perfect yoga as long as you're breathing and moving. You can't go wrong. Good. All right, so we'll take it one more time. And then we'll reach up, look up, let your palms touch, and draw them right down to your heart center. And then release your legs. Take your feet to the floor, take your hands behind you, and just rock sideways. Just release those legs. Good. And then we're going to bring our feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. So this is butterfly pose. You guys know this. Inner thigh stretch. So sit up nice and tall here. Maybe flap your little butterfly wings. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to come forward. Just check out your lower back. So this is where it's okay to kind of hunch forward a little bit. We're going to try to counteract some of the hunching that we do when we sit at our computers all day. But for now, just let yourself fold forward, coming into this stretch here. Just allowing the legs to melt down toward the floor. and the back of the neck to soften. You might just rotate your head from side to side here. Good. And we'll take 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, slowly sit up and see if you can switch the cross of your legs to what feels a little funky, a little different. So the other leg might come in front, or if you like lotus or half lotus, you can try that here. And then we're going to just take our hands to somewhere on the legs, maybe to the front of the knees, and take your chin down to your chest. And then slowly take a half circle over to the right. Take a look at what's over there. And then take your half circle down towards center. And then take it over to the other side. Good. Keep it slow and steady. Just gently unwinding the neck. Good. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your right hand, extend it out, and flip your palm, and then take it back behind you. Just let it rest on your lower back, and then take your opposite arm and wrap it around like you're taking hold of a beach ball, and find your ear, and just gently draw that ear toward the shoulder. Good. Super good for stretching the neck and the shoulders. You can close your eyes here and breathe. Notice what happens when you start to get into deeper stretches. We'll get even deeper as we practice. See if you can keep your breath just as slow. That slow, established breath that we practiced in the beginning of the practice. In the beginning of the practice. How many times can we say practice in a row? Let's take one more breath. Inhale. And then exhale to release. And we'll take the opposite arm, reach it out, flip your palm, take it around behind you, and then take that arm up and over. And just close your eyes here, enjoy the stretch. And keep your breath nice and smooth and long. Nice. And then as you're ready, slowly release. Shake it out. I'll do this. I teach seniors, but this is really good for all of us. So shake your right hand right and left. Shake your left hand up and down. Nobody's looking at you, don't worry. Okay, try the other side. Left hand, left and right, right hand up and down. Oh, one side's usually easier. I know, it's crazy, right? All right, good job. That's just for fun. So let's, if your knees are sensitive at all, you can take your blanket and your towel and fold it up, remove all the wrinkles. Sometimes it's nice if you're on a hard floor. I have a carpet underneath me, so I don't need it quite as much. But if you're on a hard surface, it's nice to have something under your knees. And we'll come up to our tabletop pose. So when we get into our table, we want to spread our hands nice and wide. So fingers nice and wide. Spread our fingers nice and wide. The tops of our feet are on the floor. And then our hands are right under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips. So I have I have a chocolate lab who's really excited to see me, and she shakes her butt like this. So I call this the Sophie shake. So you can do a little Sophie shake just to get yourself settled, right? And then we're going to take those cat-cows. So as you inhale, lift your gaze, drop your belly. And as you exhale, round forward. Chin comes to chest, belly comes into the spine. Good. We'll take a few more, just pressing the mat away with your hands, moving with your breath. So we come into that Halloween cat pose, and we draw the belly deep into the spine, get really rounded here. And then we sink the belly down, lifting the tailbone, lifting the gaze. Just take a couple more. This feels so good. And then on your next cat pose, let's round and really exaggerate that cat pose. So just pressing the mat away. And then come back to neutral spine. Maybe Sophie shake it out a little bit. And then we're going to take that left leg long, reach it back, and flex the left toes toward the floor. Lift it about hip height. And see if you can reach your right arm forward. We'll explore a little balance here with this bird dog pose. So breathe in, just looking slightly forward, keeping length in the back of the neck. Good. And then as you exhale, just lower the right hand down, keep the left leg lifted, and take it across the body and take your gaze back over your right shoulder and look back toward that left foot. Good. So a little side bend here. Inhale that left leg back up, and exhale, lower your left knee to the floor. Sophie, shake it out. Come to stillness. We'll extend the right leg long, point those toes toward the floor, so flexing, so you get some energy in that left leg, and then reach the, right leg, reach the left arm forward. Find that bird dog on this side. Good. Breathe in. And then breathe out, lower that left hand to the mat, take your right foot across, and take a gander back towards your left foot, stretching the side body here. Good. On your inhale, we'll come back, lower that right knee to the mat. Sophie, shake it out as needed. And then bring your knees wide as your mat. Bring your toes to touch. Big toes will touch. And sink your hips back. We'll come into an extended child's pose. So reach your arms forward, lifting your elbows off the mat. You can claw your fingertips forward and just sink your hips back as you come back to your deep inhalations and exhalations. Another really good pose to just come into any time of day, right? Any time of night or day is good for this child's pose. So now just let your elbows rest on the floor. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. Good. Filling up the back body. So imagining that back body now filling up completely with fresh oxygen. So good for you. And then when you're ready, bring your fingertips back to the floor, lift your elbows, lift your gaze slightly, and just walk your hands over to the right. And then lower your head down to the mat, and we'll stretch here. Keep the hips drawn back toward the heels. Breathe in. And then breathe out as you lift up again and walk your hands over to the left. And lower your forehead to the floor. Keeping those elbows lifted, just getting some length in the arms, stretching the shoulders. Good. Take one more breath in, and on your exhale, we're going to come forward, come back up through table, bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and lift your hips. We'll come into our downward facing dog. So in that inverted V pose. Most people know downward facing dog nowadays, but if you don't, we're just lifting our hips high into the sky, and our heels are pressing toward the floor, fingers are spread nice and wide, palms are pressing into the mat, and pay particular attention to the thumb and that first finger, the pointer finger. Press those joints of the fingers into the mat, and then see if you can relax your head and your neck. Maybe swallow in your throat, even though you're upside down. It kind of relaxes the throat. And then we'll start to walk our dog. So you can bend one knee and then the other. Maybe get your hips into it if you're feeling really ready to go. Just bend one knee and then the other. And then find stillness here. Press those heels back. Coming into one more breath here in our downward facing dog. Breathing in. And as you exhale, we're going to look forward and just take a little stroll forward to the front of our mats and come into a forward fold. So knees bent as much as you like. You can reach your arms behind you and reach for your elbows and let your head just dangle. If you prefer ragdoll, you can bring your hands to the outsides of your elbows and shake your head. Yes and no. Good. And just find stillness here. And on your next inhalation, bring your hands to your shins. Come into Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And notice what's going on with your shoulders. See if you can draw them down and away from your ears. Make that half table. And on your exhale, we'll refold. So maybe your legs are ready to straighten. Get a little more of a hamstring stretch here. And on your next inhale, root into your feet to rise up and reach all the way up. Let your palms touch. Get really long. And then exhale your hands to your heart center. We'll come into mountain pose. Excellent. Good job. All right. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale, reach up and look up. Let your palms touch. And then exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, coming into your halfway lift. You all look great. And exhale, fold forward here. We'll take a couple more of these just half sun salutations. Inhale, root to rise, reaching up. And exhale your hands to heart center. Restart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. And exhale, fold again. Maybe every time you fold, your legs get a little more straight. Inhale, root to rise, reaching up and look up. Maybe lean back a little bit, look up towards your thumbs. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Excellent. One more time. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rooting to rise, reaching up, looking up, leaning back, maybe a little more of a back bend here if you're ready. And to exhale, hands come to heart center. Good job. And just pause here. Let your eyes close here with your hands at the heart. Just press your thumbs into your sternum and close your eyes and just notice how you feel. Maybe warming up a little bit, maybe a little more calm. Take a big full body breath, filling up from head to toes and toes to head. And then when you're ready, blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach up and look up. Let your palms touch. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come to that halfway lift. And then exhale, take your hands to the mat. And so we have a couple of choices. You can step back to your plank or take a big jump back. Maybe some of you are regular yogis and you like to jump. I like to jump. And then rock forward on your toes in your plank pose. You can always come down to your knees. But if you like, we're going to lower all the way down, just as slowly as you can, coming all the way down to the mat. And then take your hands to the outsides of your shoulders. Inhale, press yourself up to a baby cobra. Shining your heart, little bit of a back bend here, and exhale, lower down. We'll take two more. Inhale, shine, shine, and exhale, lower. This next time you can come up to a little bit of a higher cobra, or maybe lift your knees off the mat, coming into an upward facing dog, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then exhale, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Good. Excellent. Pressing those heels back. Let's take two more breaths here in this down dog. Decide if you want to walk it out or find stillness. Slowing down your breath. Focusing on your breath and your movement. When you're ready, we're gonna lift our right leg high, get really long with that leg. This time point your toe. Good. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your nose towards your knee and round like we did in that cat pose. As you inhale, lift up again. And as you exhale, step forward with your right leg. We'll rise up. We'll come into a high lunge, crescent lunge. So framing your ears with your hands, drawing your pinkies toward one another. Just find your balance here. You might start to wobble a little bit. That right knee is over that right ankle. Good. And the left heel is lifted, both toes facing the same direction forward, like on railroad tracks. Good job. Excellent job. We're going to take the right arm back and the left arm forward and take a little twist. Testing our balance, seeing how we're doing here. So right arm forward, left arm back, and then take a gaze back towards your right arm. Good. Good. Just find your balance. Always coming back to that slow breath. That's a good little trick for the balance. And then when you're ready, raise your arms up, frame your ears, and then we'll take our hands down to frame our right foot and step back, and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take one breath here. Exhale it out, and then we'll lift the left leg high. Point your toes, get really long. Keep pressing that right heel down toward the mat. Breathe in, and on your exhalation, draw your knee into your nose, round your spine. Good. Inhale, shoot that leg back up, and exhale, look forward, step that left leg forward, rise up, coming into our crescent lunge here. Both toes facing forward, left knee over left ankle, pinkies drawing toward one another. Nice stretch for that right hip flexor, feels so good. Breathe in, and as you exhale, take that left arm back, take your gaze with it. Wobbling is human. Right arm goes forward, just a little twist here. Breathe in. Breathe out. We'll rise back up to our crescent lunge, drawing those shoulders down and away from the ears, and then on the exhale, take your hands down to frame the left foot, step on back, and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good job. We'll take 2 more breaths here, sinking your hips, maybe closing your eyes, letting this down dog be a resting pose. Relaxing the back of the neck, pressing all the joints of the fingers into the mat. Good. When you're ready, we're going to go for it again. Lift your right leg high, and exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Good. We're going to take the right hand back, looking back, finding that twist again. Excellent. And inhale your way up to your crescent again. And then we're going to spin it open, coming into warrior 2 here. So the right knee is tracking over the right ankle, and the back foot is spun to flat at just about a 45-degree angle. And the arms are reaching, extending from the shoulders. Looking out over that those right fingertips. Just finding a gentle face, softening the face. Good. On your next inhale, flip your right palm, send it up, see if you can follow it with your gaze, and let the left arm just rest on the left leg behind you. Good. One more inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to take our right arm to our right leg and come into a side angle, reaching with that left arm overhead, twisting toward the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. When you're ready, rise back up, coming into your warrior two, and then look down toward that right foot. Take your hands to frame your right foot. Spin the back foot so it's facing forward, same direction, and step your right foot back to meet your left. So here we are in plank pose. Fingers spread nice and wide. Rock forward on your toes, and then take that slow lower down to the mat, keeping your elbows drawn in toward the body. We'll take those 3 back bends here. So press up to your cobra on your inhale, and exhale, lower down. Take your second cobra, or maybe you're ready for your up dog, and exhale, lower down. Good. 3rd time's the charm. Inhale, coming up maybe to your up dog, lifting your knees, and then exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Excellent work. We'll take 2 breaths here just to get our bearings. Maybe close your eyes. Let this be a rest. And on your next inhale, lift that left leg high. Reach it up, extend it up. And on your exhale, draw your nose to your knee, knee to your nose, round your spine. Inhale, reach it back up. And exhale, step it on through, coming into our crescent. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Finding something to look at as we start to move into balancing helps. So something that's not moving, that's in front of you, not a person. Probably not me, because I wobble as much as anybody. When you're ready, open up to that twist. Send your left arm back. See if you can follow it with your gaze if you're steady. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise back up on your inhale, coming back into crescent, and then open up warrior two on this side, sending your back foot to flat, taking a nice long, lengthening out those legs. So there's lots of space between your legs in this warrior two pose. Reach your arms out from your shoulders and gaze over those left fingertips. One more breath in. Exhale it out. And then breathe in. Lift that left arm up overhead, reverse. Right arm goes down behind you. Lean back. See if you can follow it with your gaze. Deep breath in. Slow breath out as you take your left elbow to your left leg, reaching your right arm overhead. So nice angle here. Side angle. Good job. Beautiful. We're going to inhale back up to warrior two, sending those fingertips out from the shoulders. And then on your exhale, look down. Place your hands on either side of the left foot. Send it back, coming back through plank. And then rock forward in your plank and decide if you want to lower your knees this time or just lower all the way down. And this time we're going to make a pillow with our hands and just turn your head from on one side. Just one ear goes down to the mat and just breathe. Find yourself a steady breath that works for you. Feeling your belly filling up even though it's pressing into the mat. See if you can breathe just as deeply. And exhale through your nose, slow and easy. Good. One more breath in. Just feeling your heartbeat. And then on your next exhalation, bring your forehead back to center. Take your hands to your shoulders. We're going to peel ourselves up into our upward facing dog. And just enjoy this for just a moment because it's a fun pose. We don't often stay here very long. So knees off the mat. Shine your heart forward. Keep your breath steady. And then as you're ready, come out over your toes, lift your hips, coming into downward facing dog again. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. So we have a couple more sequences, and then we'll get into some more juicy stretches and some arm balances. We had a request for a crow pose, so we'll work our way there. So when you're ready, lift your right leg up to the sky, get really long. And as you're ready, step forward. We're going to come into Warrior One here. So that means the back foot is spun flat, and you might want to move it over to more of the left side of the mat. And the right foot can also move over. And then our hips spin forward, so they're facing forward, and our arms reach to frame our ears. Again, pinkies drawing toward one another. Excellent. You guys look great. And then this right knee is over that right ankle. So breathing in and breathing out, flip your palms, take them behind you and clasp your hands behind you and send your palms down below your booty. Draw your shoulders together, shoulder blades together, open your chest. Keep pressing into the left side of the left foot. Try keeping that right knee over the right ankle. And then see if you can just challenge your balance. Look up. Good. Breathe in, and as you exhale, come into a humble warrior. We'll take our head below our heart, lifting our arms over our head. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. Maybe your arms reach up a little higher. Again, if you're wobbling, you're cool. It's so fine. Let's take one more breath in. Look up, release your hands. Take your left hand to the inside of your right foot and spin that left foot so it's facing forward. Take that right arm, peel it open for a twist. Good. Excellent. We're going to bring the right hand down to frame that right foot and come up on your fingertips, and then we're going to come into a standing split, just kind of unceremoniously. We're just going to bring our weight to our right foot and lift the left foot up high. So your hands can be just in front of you and your nose comes to your knee. Breathe in. So if you feel really steady in this standing split, if you're practiced yogi, feeling really balanced, you can take one hand, maybe to your right calf, maybe two if you're feeling it. You can just try it, see how it feels. We'll be here for one more breath. Keep that breath steady. And then as you exhale, just bring your left foot to meet your right and come into a forward fold. Reach for your elbows, ragdoll. Good. Shake your head yes and no. So good for us to just get our head under our hearts. Let's take one more breath in, root to rise. Reaching up, looking up. Take those palms and clasp them again. Send your palms up toward the ceiling and lean over to the left and look right. Taking a side bend here. Good. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, lean to the right. Look left. Good. Inhale, reach your fingertips up to the sky, lean back, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into that halfway lift. And exhale, take your hands to the floor. You can decide if you want to jump back. And then we're going to rock forward again. Take yourself all the way to the mat. And turn your head to the other side. Whatever side you did not turn your head, give your neck equal time and just breathe here. Nice big breath in. Slow breath out. One more. Excellent. Bring your forehead back to center. Take your hands to the outsides of your shoulders and really draw your elbows in. Let's come up to either a high cobra or an upward facing dog, lifting your knees off the mat. Drawing your gaze forward. Keeping your breath steady and your face smiling. And when you're ready, on your exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good job. Maybe take an exhale through the mouth. Release a little stress or walk it out. And then press those heels back, find stillness. Breathe in. Exhale it out. And then on your inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. Good job. On your exhale, let's take that nose to the knee again, rounding the spine. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, look forward. Step to the left side of your mat and flatten your right foot on an angle over to the right side, and we'll come into our warrior one on this side. So reaching your arms to frame your ears, pressing into the right side of that right foot equally as much as the left side. Good. And your torso is turning toward the front, so there's this little experience of a subtle twist here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. And then flip your palms, take your hands and clasp your palms the funky way. So maybe the other thumb is on top, and draw your shoulders together. Broaden your heart, open your collarbone, look up. And on your exhale, pour forward, come into your humble warrior. So the head comes down to the inside of the left leg, and the feet are firmly planted. Lift those arms maybe a little bit higher if your shoulders are feeling stretchy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. On your next inhale, release your hands, spin your back foot so it's facing forward. Take your right hand to the inside of your left leg and open up to your twist on this side. Big breath in as you lift your arm, lift your gaze. Good. And on your exhalation, take your left hand to the left side of your left foot. Maybe a little bit further. Maybe bring your fingertips a little bit in front of your right foot, or right at the top of your right foot. And get ready to take that little spring. So you're going to bend your right knee and lift yourself up to your standing split. So your nose comes to your straightened left knee. Your left leg is straight. And your right leg is lifted. Good. Big breath in. Long, slow exhalation. We got this. And as you're ready, we're just going to step your right foot to meet your left, and we'll stand in our forward fold, but reach for your big toes. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes, and then draw your elbows outward. And see if you can straighten your legs a little bit more, finding a little bit more of a hamstring stretch in this forward fold. Good. Nice big breath in. Long, slow breath out. Relaxed face, relaxed neck. It's all good. When you're ready, release your toes. Inhale to that halfway lift. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale, fold in again. Bend your knees, root to rise, reaching up. Take your hands and clasp them. Press your palms toward the ceiling. And then lean to the right, look left. Keep pressing into both feet as equally as you can. Inhale back to center and lean left, look right. Nice. Good. Come back to center. Let your gaze look up at the ceiling. Release your hands and let your hands come into cactus arms. So drawing your shoulder blades toward one another, opening your heart, leaning back. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, just draw your hands into your heart, and we'll come back into mountain pose. Just standing at the top of your mat and pausing here. Hands come to heart center, eyes close. And just notice. Notice your breath. Notice your heartbeat. Notice what thoughts, if any, are going through your mind. Sometimes we're so preoccupied with our thoughts, but then we get into a yoga flow and we can actually think about our breath and our body. It's so good for us. Just come into that present moment. Take a moment to feel your feet making the connection with the earth. Feel your palms pressing together. And feel your lips curl into a little smile. Excellent. When you're ready, blink your eyes open, shake it out. Won't make you do the crazy shakes. Bring your legs, come so you're lengthwise on your mat, so you can open your legs nice and wide in preparation for our crow. And then we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Come forward just halfway, lift. And then as your back permits, if your back is feeling okay, just come all the way down. This is where sometimes we'll go into a headstand, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to bend one knee and take yourself over to one side, and then bend the other knee and take yourself to the other side, just kind of inviting a little stretchiness into the inner thighs here, just moving right to left, just as it feels right for you. A couple more times. And then bring your hands down to the mat. See if you can get your hands in line with your feet, and let your head just sink forward, crown of the head moving toward the earth. Maybe if you bring your legs even wider, you can bring your head to the earth. And if headstand is in your practice and you want to come into it, if you don't have anything around you, you can go ahead, lift up. Why not? As you're ready, slowly lower back down. We're going to bring our hands back to our hips and rise up. And then heel toe your feet. Anybody try a headstand? I couldn't see. All right, so we're going to come into, let's come to the front of our mats, but I'm going to stay where I am so we can cue. I can watch you as you're doing your crow pose. And if you happen to have blocks with you, some of you might, this is kind of a trick. You can put them down and step up on top of them. This is just a little bit easier. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried it, but it's a good way to get into your crow pose. So if you can come down into your on top of your mat, or on top of your blocks or on your mat. And then place your hands down on your mat in front of you, and then you got to kind of tuck your knees into your triceps, your armpits. You can watch this once, and then we can try it again together. And then here's the cool thing about these blocks. They elevate us enough so that it's not too hard to lift one foot and maybe the other, maybe just one. And you keep looking forward, clawing those finger joints clawing into the mat. And then you have the blocks right underneath you. It's easy to come out. So I'll try it without the blocks and cue you guys. So let's all come out, and we'll come into a little squat before we actually come into our first crow pose. So just squat on down, take your knees wide, your toes point out, and just press your elbows into your inner thighs as you lift your heart and breathe. Good. I needed this break. Okay, so let's come to the front of our mats, and we'll just bring our feet about hip width, and then take your hands to the mat in front of you, and then see if you can squeeze those knees into your upper arms, maybe almost your armpits, right? And then press into the joints of the fingers as you rock forward. You can keep your feet on the floor, but keep your gaze forward. That's going to balance you out. And then bring one foot up, maybe both. Awesome. Good job, you guys. Awesome. So you can come out and you can rest in squat maybe, or you can just take a break and we'll play for just another minute or so. You can decide if you want to try it again. So the key really is keep your gaze forward. And then once you get your feet off the floor, your big toes will touch or your feet can come together. And then the trick is to keep your breath slow and smooth and your smile. All the things. Good. Are we done? Awesome. Awesome. It's just so fun to play. All right. Let's meet at the top of our mat. Come back into our mountain pose. Press your fingers. Let your palms face forward and draw your heart open and close your eyes. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Reset. So just some fun things to practice and play with. If you watch the video after we practice together, you can try it again. And then look down at your feet, spread your feet right under your hips, and we're going to take our weight into our left foot and just bring your right arm out to the right, palm facing up, and reach back for your right inside of your right ankle, your right foot. We're going to try a little dancer pose. So we're going to reach the left arm up and then lean forward, kick your foot into your hand as you engage that left leg to find your steadiness. Now this right shoulder is opening a little bit, and breathe. If you fall out, come back in or meet at the front of your mat. Let's try it on the other side. Sophie shake, feet under your hips. We'll take the left arm out to the left, palm face up, and bend that left knee. Reach the right arm up and kick the foot into the hand as you reach forward and lift that leg up toward the sky. Finding your drishti. I forgot to find my drishti. Good. We'll take one more breath here. Good. And as you exhale, just shake it out. Let's get rid of that. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come into your halfway lift. And then exhale, make your way back to your plank. And then lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high. And then look forward as you draw your knee in towards your chest, and just let your right leg come down to the mat, right knee behind the right wrist, left foot behind the left wrist. And then look back, make sure that extended leg is nice and long behind you. And then lift your heart. Draw your shoulders back. And on an exhale, just lower down into your pigeon pose by request. And get still. Let your eyes close. Let your breath move easily. And then if you feel like you want to tuck your blanket under your right hip, because we will be here for several more rounds of breath. That just makes you feel like you're a little more supported, because we all need to be supported, especially when we're trying new things. And just check in with your breath. See if you can slow it down. Check in with your jaw. the back of your neck. So imagine your back of your lungs just filling up, and then slow, long exhalations, releasing, letting go. Take a few more breaths here together. See if you can soften somewhere, let go of some resistance. Maybe not all, just what we can tonight. And then on your next breath in, bring your hands to the mat. Tuck your left foot, and we'll lift back up into a downward facing dog. And it might feel good to walk your dog a little bit here. You might want to take some hip circles. And then find stillness in your down dog. And then lift your left leg high. And we'll squeeze it in, rounding forward as we come forward. Just take that left knee behind the left hand. Extend the right leg long, top of the foot on the floor. And the left foot is somewhere behind the right palm. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, draw your shoulders back. Breathe in. And on your exhale, find your happy place on this side, tucking anything underneath that left hip that would feel good, block or blanket. And then just surrender, bow. Let this pose work its magic on your hip. It's where we store all of our emotional junk in our hips. So sometimes this pigeon pose can help us unlock some stress or tension or emotion we may have kind of locked away. So don't be surprised if it comes up. Just let it go when it does. Deepen your breath. Good. Just a few more here. You're doing great. See if there's somewhere you can let go, releasing, softening. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. And as you're ready, just begin to peel yourself up. We'll tuck that right toe, come back into our downward facing dog, and decide if you want to walk it out. Maybe take some of those hip circles if that felt good. Good. And then as you're ready, we're just going to come down to one hip. Let's take our left leg and bend it so that your left foot is by your right thigh. And then cross your right leg over the left. Give yourself a big hug and sit up nice and tall. We'll take a twist here. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale to take your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, if your hip is coming up off the floor, maybe tuck your blanket. Do what you need to do. And take another breath in to lift and lengthen, and another breath out to take that gaze over the shoulder. Good. And on your next exhalation, unwind, and we'll just switch legs. So the right foot comes in, the left leg crosses over. Give yourself a hug. Press your left hand behind you. Lift your heart. Breathe in and exhale. Take your gaze over that left shoulder. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. On your next exhalation, gently unwind, and we'll come to lie down on our mat for all the good stuff. You can have your blanket right next to you, rolled up, and just lower yourself down to the mat. And once you get there, hug your knees into your chest. My favorite thing, take some circles. Draw some circles on your ceiling. And give yourself a free massage. This is the best massage. It just gets that sacrum and all the spots. And go the other direction. Good. And then find some stillness here. Curl up in a nice ball. Bring your nose to your knees. Get really small. And then inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Lower your legs and get really long. Take a big breath in to fill up. And on your exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Bring your feet to the mat, your heels up toward your hips. We're going to press into the mat as we draw our shoulder blades toward one another, lifting your hips. We'll come into a bridge pose here. So if you can clasp your hands underneath, you might be able to get your hips a little bit higher. Squeezing in, reaching up. And then slowly lower down. We're going to take 2 more of those, and if wheel is in your practice on the second or third one, you are certainly invited to come into a wheel. I'd love to see it. But if you're ready, join me in a second bridge pose. So the yogis say that bridge pose is really good for sleep. Like if you ever have problems sleeping, come into a bridge pose every day. You probably have to stay up there for a little while, but lower down gently. And here we go. If you'd like to maybe tuck your feet in a little bit closer to your body if they've gotten a little farther away from you like mine did. If you want to lift up and come into your bridge, or if you'd like to come into wheel pose, go for it. You can bring your hands by your ears and go ahead and lift up, maybe to the crown of your head or to your, yeah. Nice job, you guys. Breathe in, and as you exhale, slowly lower down. I wasn't going to come into wheel pose tonight. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side, and then place your feet on the floor. Lift your hips up just enough to take your hips a couple inches over to the right, and then drop your hips over to the left. Take your right arm out to the side, take your gaze over in that general direction. And breathe. Let your eyes close. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more breath here. And then slowly let your knees come back up to center. Just bring your spine to neutral, scooting your hips to the center, and just pause here for a moment. And then as you're ready, take your hips over to the left and then drop them over to the right. Open up and twist. Let your eyes close, let your face soften. These hips might feel a little more open after that pigeon pose. Just enjoy. Breathing in, and letting go. One more big full breath. And on your exhalation, just bring your knees back to center. Let your spine reset, coming back into neutral. And then here, yogi's choice. As we move into our Shavasana, you might want to come into a happy baby, reaching for the outsides of your feet, drawing your knees into your shoulders, maybe rocking from side to side. You might want to take your legs up above you, or if shoulder stand is in your practice, certainly that's an option. And stay here as long as you like, but if you're ready, I suggest your blanket underneath your knees, like if you can get it rolled up and just place it underneath your knees, and then extend your legs long, bring them as wide as your mat, and let your arms just reach out, just wide. Let your fingers spread wide and your palms face up. And let your eyes close. And just notice here how the body is feeling. Take a moment to scan the body from the crown of the head down through the brow and the cheekbones, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, and soften your torso, your belly, your hips. Relax your right arm, your right hand, the fingers on your right hand. Same with the left arm, left hand, fingers. And just let both legs be heavy on the mat. Let the feet fall out to the sides. And just rest here. You've done all the good work. Now let it integrate into the body. Nothing to do, just be. Staying completely still in the Shavasana. This is called For a New Beginning by one of my favorite spiritual poets, John O'Donohue. He writes, "In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you." Slowly begin to deepen the breath and bring small movements to your fingers, your toes. Maybe turn the head from side to side. Just gently waking up, but keeping that relaxed state. And then when you're ready, roll to one side and just curl up in that fetal position that signifies that rebirth, that new beginning. And just pause here, noticing how you feel, letting yourself get used to each new shape. And then when you're ready, use the strength of your arms to come up to a seat and join me where we started in our meditation seat. And let your eyes close here, let your shoulders draw down. Lift the heart, lift the crown of the head. Just noticing how you feel here. And as you're ready, reach your arms out wide, just like we did. Inhale to reach up. Let your palms touch without looking. And as you exhale, draw your hands down into your heart. Let your chin come to your chest. And take a moment to recall your intention for the practice. And then take a moment of gratitude for something or someone. And let that wash over you. In yoga, we say the word namaste at the end of class, and it's really a beautiful word that means the love and the light and the divinity in me. So many different interpretations. Sees and appreciates that is within you. So thank you so much for coming to practice with me today, bringing a little more joy into my life. I hope you enjoyed your practice. And I'll end this with namaste. Namaste, you guys. You did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I had so much fun. Those were great choices. Crow pose and pigeon. Two good choices. You can't go wrong with that. So I'll post it on the YouTube channel if you guys want to watch the video and put your own music to it and then watch it again. So.
Yeah, guys, Connie is everywhere and she does so many amazing things. I'm sure you all love her reading during our Savasana, but she does meditations on the Insight Timer as well, which is a meditation app if you guys haven't heard of it. But she's amazing. If you want to talk more about all your different things, you're more than welcome to. But thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Right now.
Just keep practicing, keep breathing. You guys are nailing it. Awesome.